केवल लगा वो यहीं पर हो जाएगा। क्या होता है ना ट्रस्ट की अच्छा जैम हो जाता है।
सर आपको लिंक पठे देछि
हां हां तला से साइबर सिक्योरिटी ग्रुप अच्छा फिर पक्के दोनों से लिंक कर हां लिंक डाल पक्के दोनों में के से समान लिंक होगी
नहीं सर अलग
हां पका था एटा था
आगे सर
तो मैं ताले स्टार्ट करा दो वो स्टार्ट कर सारे कॉलेज हो गए शुरुआत कर दो होगा
which is the address?
सकाळी कॉल स्टार्ट केलं
सर अपन चैनल में का टेस्ट केजे कोडे वाला ये लाइव स्ट्रीम रे किया छ
So small. Yeah. कैमरा नहीं आएगा ना प्रेजेंटेशन तो नहीं है अभी नाउ वी हैव और व्हाट एल्स वी कैन डू सर वी कैन मेक द प्रेजेंटेशन टुडे टुमारो और थोड़ा बहुत प्रेजेंटेशन कर देते हैं एंड टुमारो तो देख लेते हैं शेड्यूल क्या है टुमारो वी कैन
सर ये आ गया अभी आप
तो साइबर सिक्योरिटी 2020
से ग्रुप में छी हेलो से ग्रुप में छी
जोड़ा आया वाला उधर ही ना तो कौन है
जो भी पेज उधर ऐसे सेंड कर दो जो लोग अच्छा
अच्छा
अच्छे से ना
सर लैब कैसे दिखाएंगे ये तो प्रॉब्लम है सर मान लीजिए लैब हाउ कैन वी शो इन द लैब
सर लैब से के लिए गूगल मीट लिंक कर देंगे
हाँ कल कर देते हैं वी विल कवर अप दिस पार्ट ओके टुडे we'll cover up the tomorrow's network security model and network infrastructure security
ओके
तो अभी 3:20 हो रहा है इसको कर सकते हैं हम ना Oh, yes. So we'll be discussing about network security model. जैसे हमारा OSI 7 layer architecture होता है. What about your friends? They have gone. OSI 7 layer architecture होता है. उसी तरह, in similarly, we have full screen.
Full screen, हाँ.
Similarly, we have a network 7 layer network security model. We consider the OSI reference model as the standard framework for learning networking basics. Similarly, we have 7 layer model for network security.
It is calling it video.
Sometimes. So, similarly, we have 7 layer model for network security that divide the Herculean task of securing the network infrastructure into manageable 7 sections. In other words, we can say that network security model primarily deals with 7 layer architecture similar to OSI reference model for networking basics. Okay. So, if you see here, what are the 7 layer? What NSM, network security model, can do? NSM will provide a way to deploy and implement basic networking security measures and devices as well as locate underlying vulnerabilities that may be allowed an attack. NSM was a top-down approach and determine which layer has failed. 7 layer is physical layer, VLAN layer, ACL layer, software layer, user layer, administrative layer, and IT department layer. Now see here, why do we require an NSM? Means what is the reason that we need to have a network security model? NSM will provide a well-structured mechanism to study, implement, and maintain network security at any given network. In academia, network security is presented as a tool and technique that can be applied to any network. However, in IT and ITS, network security needs a more mature approach with adequate compliances that will ensure that we are not missing any security issue, including designing the network. So it is never going to happen that you are actually trying to secure the network after designing the network. You have to design the network in such a way, then only you can secure the network. Now, security of the network, if it comes, then the question arises, who are the stakeholders of that network? Okay. NSM will provide benefit to those who are designing the network from the scratch. So while designing the network, if there is no protocol, no rules followed, then it will be difficult for the network professional to manage it. So it may happen that these professionals may not have a complete idea about every aspect of network security. It even provides a clear picture about security professional in understanding what has been incorporated and what has been left out. NSM provide a complete security framework from the network design point of view. Without the NSM, the network security community faces potential chaos as professionals continue to implement their own version of security networks without adequate structure. So, if we want to have a method or a methodological implementation of the network security, then we have to follow this network security model. So, this is actually, I have already discussed, these are the 7 layers. Out of that, IT department layer is the most important layer in any network security model or cyber security model, whatever way you define. The physical layer. The physical layer is primarily consists of physical security of the network infrastructure. It is the first layer as intruders and hackers break in to gain access to the data, application, and the infrastructure. So the physical security of is the easiest method to implement and it does not require complex security protocols and algorithms. So first of all, when you are having a house, you are trying to secure that house by putting a boundary along the perimeter of your house. Okay, correct. You put a boundary wall on the perimeter of the house. Okay. The core aspect of physical layer is the site design, the access control, the alarms, and the CCTV camera. Okay, these are the 4 aspects while you secure. See, in this course, I am trying to give you a complete and holistic view of the entire network infrastructure and cyberspace. It's not that ethical hacking थोड़ा पढ़ा दिया ये नहीं करना वो कोई काम का नहीं है. I'm giving you a total idea of how when you are working with some IT firm or when you are working to set up an infrastructure, what methods you require. That is there. As of today, these are being followed in the industry. Okay. So the site design. This includes physical security of the infrastructure. Okay. So this includes the physical security of the infrastructure. ये इसमें काम नहीं कर रहा. So including access control using fencing, barbed wire, metal and concrete barrier, lighting and illumination. Lighting and illumination is also very, very required. The reason for this is if lighting and illumination is not there, then somebody may break in the night. Okay. The infrastructure should be normally avoided at a place or ground floor as intruder can gain access easily or is a chance of water loss. So जो हमारा infrastructure में basically आप देखोगे racks होते हैं. So whatever racks is there, we have to protect that. हाँ? Access control mechanism should be placed in all doors and gates. Access control mechanism बोले तो आपके पास जो कार्ड होता है उसको टच करने पे वो दरवाजा खुलेगा. फिर बंद कर देना. There should not be any tailgating. Tailgating का मतलब है कि आप घुस रहे, मान लीजिए आप रघुनाथ घुस रहे, उसके पीछे पीछे मैं घुस रहा. तो क्या होगा कि कोई लॉक नहीं रहेगा कि I have entered into this place. So with every user they should swipe their card and enter one by one. Okay. Electronic lock gates should have a log of access of various legitimate users. Whoever is a legitimate user should have an access of it. Alarm. The third element include alarm, which can alert people at various capacities to act in case of forced breaking, fire, or any similar incident. Now, let me tell you about the fire. Okay. Now, what kind of, if fire happens, how to prevent or how to suppress that fire? There is a device called VESDA, VESDA, Very Early Smoke Detection Apparatus, VESDA, okay, or Very Early Smoke Detection Alarms. So the Vesda is basically the role of the Vesda is, देखिए एक हिंदी में कहावत है, जब कभी आग लगती है तो धुआं उठता है. So at any point of time it will sense the slightest smoke, it will start the alarm. And to suppress the air or suppress the fire, sorry, to suppress the fire, we use an inert gas like argon, xenon, neon. These kind of gases are used. Okay. Now क्या होता है, जो मान लीजिए डेटा सेंटर जो फिजिकल ये है उसके अंदर कोई आदमी नहीं रहता, इट्स एन ऑटोमेटेड सिस्टम. ओके. If there is a fire, then if there is a person, then he has logged into the system with access control. So the system has a knowledge that there is some person who is inside this room. If there is no person, it will discharge the argon gas at a very high pressure, 200 psi of pressure. So it's a high pressure से पूरा जगह गैस को फैला दे. If somebody is there inside and he has not legitimately entered, maybe forcefully, he will definitely going to get senseless or die because the oxygen will not be. So basically, alarms are there for fire control and this camera. The fourth element is the camera. Okay. So the fourth element is basically the camera, and the fourth element provides of the log of the people who have entered into that system. Okay. The fourth element is going to provide that how many people have entered, and if there is any force breaking, then it will have the record of all the people who have entered into the system. The second one is the VLAN. In today's scenario, VLAN plays a vital role in the management of local area network. VLANs are used to segment network. Okay, we divide the network into multiple segments. The primary reason of using VLAN is to group together common hosts and for security and administrative purposes. I have already discussed with you that if there are multiple VLAN, then those group of people can access each other, but will not be able to communicate with the other computers which are there in the other virtual LAN or VLAN. By using VLAN of different users, we can design the network for less or more secure area, owners or guests using the network. A common IT infrastructure with different VLANs are shown in the next slide. So in the next slide, you can see the first aspect of the implementation of VLAN security to understand that which are the public and the private network. External facing devices are put in the public LAN, VLAN, and internal facing devices are put in the private VLAN. Segregate the internal device as user device and server. This can be well taken care with the help of firewall or UPM. So this is basically, now coming to this is a VLAN routing. I will show it to you. This is a VLAN routing mechanism. Let it come. This is the VLAN routing mechanism. Okay. See, these are known as zones: Z1, Z2, Z3, Z4, Z5, and Z6. Now, what is the role of each zone? At Z1, in this place, as Z1, every public IP will terminate and equivalent local IP will be provided. Now, the question is, what kind of security by this mechanism they can provide? Sir, why we are doing like this? So, the public IP, say for example, if I have a public IP, say 14.139.219.3, which is the public IP address of our NITER Kolkata website. If I directly put that public IP in the server, then I have no control on which kind of application people can access. So what I am going to do is, I am going to use a static netting method. Netting means network address translation. Okay. So what best I can do is, I can show you here. I will draw it and then show it to you. So we have here the firewall. And here we have 14.139.219.3 mapped to 10.0.0.6. So here you can see, I think you can see here, that 14.139.219.3 mapped to 10.0.0.6. And here this is a static netting. Static netting means one address of public IP, that is 14.139.219.3 mapped to 10.0.0.6 with 80 and 443. These two I port I will use to convert it.
So you can write on the screen also.
अच्छा.
That is here. Screen share available.
नहीं तो सर ये नहीं दिखेगा. हाँ. So here I can show you.
Set a share रहेगा, set a screen का share होगा.
तो ये करेंगे वो तो पेन यूज करेंगे क्या हो?
ओ अच्छा. वो से तो डायरेक्ट जोड़ दो.
So you can see here. ये बहुत पीले है actually. So here you can see that has been mapped. This 14.139.219.3 mapped to 10.0.0.6. Okay. Now, ये सर ये थोड़ा रिमोटली दिखाना डिफिकल्ट है. Anyway, I am trying my level best to make you understand. वो गिरिया पानी से दिखी इधर से दिखा. Anyway, so So what does this mean? So I have a firewall here. I have a firewall here, which is basically you can see here, I have a firewall here, which is basically a NAT-based communicating devices. Now, this is the firewall is the NAT translator. It translates. So, only these two ports, 443 and 80, will be allowed to pass through this firewall. Restricting all kind of application, only HTTP and HTTPS will be allowed to pass through the communication, restricting all types of communication. So this way we are making our site secure. These are very fundamental things, but it has, when you are trying to implement the cyber security, this kind of cyber security auditing जब आप करेंगे तो ये step by step सर आप देखते हो जाएंगे. You will be going through step by step. Sir, whether that netting has been done or not, whether netting has been done with appropriate port number and IP address or not, whether that has been jotted down in the system or not. So these things you have to have a mechanism. This kind of mechanism has to be incorporated. Okay. Now suppose you have 2, 3 or 4 server, like web server. Okay. So suppose you have web server, you have email server, and you have some application server. Okay, so you have some web server, email server, application server, and you want to basically secure this by protecting it by the method of static netting. Now, suppose you have an email server, open only the port which is required for email. You have only, say, video server, you open that 1494 port for video conference. So, whatever be the port, it has to be open. You have DNS server, only open the 53 number port for the DNS purpose. By this way, we are actually restricting the malicious traffic out of our internal network system. And these all things are being here on this DMZ, demilitarized zone. Yesterday we had a discussion on MZ and DMZ. So this is demilitarized. Now coming to the militarized zone, it is the place where all the policies for governing this network are to be taken. Like your principal office in IMI. So what this MZ is basically, and MZ is basically the decision maker, the policy maker.
Okay. I think there might be some losing connection. That cross it is not chargeable. It is not chargeable.
Only the caption.
नहीं सर सही तरह भी मैंने स्क्रीन शेयर सही तरह भी जाएगा देखो सही तरह
हाँ सेरा सरप्राइज
एक मिनट सर हाँ बैक कीजिए हाँ नहीं सर वहां पे भी वैसा आ रहा है बिकॉज इट इज नॉट ब्रॉडकास्टिंग दिस वन
अरे ये लैपटॉप पे गाना से सही डिस्प्ले है उसमें
The laptop is YouTube basically. देखिए लैपटॉप इधर से ही ब्रॉडकास्ट कर रहा है. अभी आ जाएगा मेरे ख्याल से आ जाना चाहिए. It is not that problem with device. YouTube streaming with problem.
पॉज करके देखेंगे.
हाँ आ गया आ गया आ गया आ गया आ गया आ गया आ गया. No 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 entire screen use. ये थोड़ा डिले है. So here you can see, here you can see that Z2 to Z4 and Z1 to Z3, Z2 to Z3 and Z2 to Z4 and Z2 to Z5. Now you will put me a question here, sir, why the storage is stored in the separate VLAN or separate zone? The answer to this is so there is a server which are connected to a SAN switch, and here it is connected to a storage, and a user is sitting here over the laptop, and this is a SAN switch. So I can show here, or else I can show here. So this is the storage, this is the SAN switch. Every request comes to the switch. If the data is lying with the server, various server, then server will basically forward the data, or else it will go to the storage to forward the data. So this is a separate zone, and this storage is being again protected by the firewall. Okay. So this is basically the network implementation of the Z4 zone. Okay. Now coming to the guest and the LAN person, here it is LAN and here it is guest. You can see down the presentation. You open up the Google Classroom. In this presentation, the guest and the LAN, basically guests are always supposed to reach to any network through DMZ, through the proxy server or something like that. But there are some users in the LAN who can enter the MJ. Say for example, the principal of the institute, maybe the chief network administrator, they can go through this MJ. Otherwise, everybody will be passing through the DMZ in the network. So anybody who want to enter into the public network from inside, as well as who want to enter into the storage, who want to enter into the server, has to pass through the DMZ. There is no other way you can do this. This is the mechanism by which you are protecting your resources in the cyber world. You are a part of the cyber world. Your internal in-premise system is a part of the cyber world, but actually you are trying to protect it in this mechanism. Next comes, if you see here, this is VLAN layer. Next comes your ACL layer, or here it will be changing. It will take some time. Here it will be ACL layer. In modern computer network, access control list is a vital role to play. ACL are used to allow and deny access to the resources in the network or internet. The security expert will protect the resources in a considerable level by provisioning and setting up strong ACL and denied various attack. This makes ACL indispensable in the modern network also. So in modern network security, every ACL, every mechanism to protect the system is done through an ACL. Now the question arises, what is an ACL, access control list, and how it is being controlled? Okay, so for the ACL, we have three things for the ACL. ACL has got one name, one ACL rule, and the third one is the ACL resource. So ACL has got three things: its name, its rule, and its resources. Okay, you can see here. ACL has got its name, rule, and resources. Okay. What is the name of the ACL? ACL are named like we have Rajiv, we have what is your name? Surendra. Surendra, and then you have some Lata, Asa, whatever this kind of name is there. In ACL also the name is incorporated through a mechanism called numbering from 1 to 99 and 100 to 190. That means if I say that ACL or access list 80, that means it is the name of the access list is 80. Access list 80 means it's the name of the access list. Okay. Followed by permit or deny. Okay. Permit or deny. Okay. And if I allow one particular network like this, 172.16.0.0, 0.0.0.255. This is the way we can write it. Access list 80 permits this. Now we write the subnet mask system in the reverse order, complement. If it is 255, 255, 255, 0, then we write it as 0.0.0.255. Okay, so this is a typical example of an access list. Access list 80 permit this 172.16.0.0 the entire network, and then 0.0.0.255, that means /24 network, or that complete network with subnet mask addresses 255, 255, 255, 0. But now access lists are additive in nature. This means I am requesting the firewall or the router to allow this list, but at the same time I can write another rule, access list 80 deny 172.16.0.80. I write another rule because access lists are additive in nature. I write access list 80 deny 172.16.0.80. That means all the IP addresses starting from 172.16.0.1 to 172.16.0.254, they are allowed, but 172.16.0.18 is denied. What does this mean? It means that you can keep on adding. If required, I can stop a particular thing. So the network administrators are basically looking into the event and through which the access list, and this is the reason. Because of this flexibility is available with access list. Because of this flexibility is available with access list, that is why we always use this access list to protect our network. Are you getting my point? Is it difficult? Raghunathji, are you getting the point? See, I am talking about the in-house implementation, okay? Not that bookish thing. This way we put it in router, in firewall, we protect our system. How we implement ACL security. Now it comes to how we implement ACL security. In modern computer network, ACL can be implemented both at routers and firewall. It's up to you whether you have a firewall. Now I know that some of you may ask me a question, which one is a better one for that? Now I take an example of Murchi. Even though we have done PhD, you are in the verge of doing all PhD and everything. But if I ask you to stitch a juta, you cannot do that. Can you repair a shoe? No. You can write code, but you cannot repair a shoe. What is my humble submission here is an person or a device which is doing a particular job with years together will develop some expertise in that. Now router are not only routers today, they are called as router with SDM. That is security device manager. It is not only router, it's a router with SDM. Most modern routers are routers with SDM. But their basic job is to routing, their secondary job is to provide security. But if you look into the firewall, the basic job is to provide security. So when we talk of that where to implement the ACL, whether in the router or firewall, to my understanding, I always say that put it in the firewall, not in the router. Sometimes we implement ACL in high performance L3 switches. But again, switches are for switching, routers are for routing, and firewall is for security. The key issue to implement ACL is to look for the inbound and outbound traffic. जो अंदर जा रहा है उसे inbound traffic, जो अंदर से बाहर जा रहा है that's an outbound traffic. And where the inbound ingress ACL and outbound egress ACL, we say बाहर जाने का क्या ACL है, अंदर जाने का क्या ACL. By if you don't have separate ACL for inbound and outbound traffic, then by default if you make an ACL for inbound traffic, that will be going to be implemented as outbound traffic also. Ingress ACL mainly control access control to internet as well as VPN. ACL are implemented to manage DMZ, public network, and your other networks. Okay, so and LAN. Importance of ACL. Let it come. ACL allows and denies traffic between VLAN, network and internet. ACL also protects the software layer by blocking access to services that have known vulnerabilities to the network. ACL can be used to isolate a compromised host, mitigate the damage that may be caused due to host or other connecting device. So, how will you put that? I say na ACL 80 permit 172.16.0.0 the entire network, but at the same time I am saying suppose one host is compromised whose IP address we can trace out, then ACL 80 deny 172.16.0.80. So that particular site has been denied, or that particular computer or host has been denied. Others are allowed to be get connected into the network. Coming to the software layer. Now this is the software layer. Now the main thing is that we Indian, you have seen that movie, Three Idiots. अरे free में मिल रहा है ले लो ले लो. So actually we Indians always have an intention that whatever we are getting, take. But this should not be true in case of cyber security. If any software is available free, don't take that. That may be a particularly Trojan horse sort of thing that will enter into the network and open up every vulnerabilities for allowing the malicious user to access the network. So, software layer is where actually আমি তো করে দিলাম একটা কোর্স এই যে বললাম একটা কোর্স করছি তো কটকে কারেক্ট আমি তো বলেই দিলাম হেডকে যে আমি একটা দিয়ে দিচ্ছি এই যে আমাদের একটা কোর্স হচ্ছে তো এখানে আইএমআইটি ভুবনেশ্বর তো তখন হেড বলেছিলেন ঠিক আছে আরো একটা কোর্স দিতে হবে ঠিক আছে তাহলে আজকে এখন তো ক্লাস আছে বিকালে গিয়ে আপনার সাথে কথা বলে ঠিক So next comes your software layer. So software layer is actually related with, see, देखिए हर एक layer का अपना अपना काम है. Every layer has got their own work. At the software layer, you should have reasons to upload a particular software. Now how it is being controlled? अभी ये मेरा जो लैपटॉप है ना, इसमें it is under Microsoft control. Even though I am the administrator, basically. But if you want to install some software, I need an administrative approval for that. कोई भी आप एक टीम व्यूअर इंस्टॉल करना चाहते हैं कि कुछ भी इंस्टॉल करना चाहते हैं, we require sort of things. I will show it to you practically. Now, how will you control it? How will you control it? Suppose you have a domain nitergold.ac. Or you have a domain imit.kotok.ac. So you may have, I can show like this, you may have a system like imit.ctc.onmicrosoft.com. This is your domain, imit.ctc.onmicrosoft.com. It's a non-Microsoft domain. Now, suppose we have one email like after SAJC, okay, SAJC, SINGH, @imitctc.onmicrosoft.com. Now this is with this email ID and some password you are entering into your system. With this email ID and password you are entering into the system. But at the same time, if you want to install a particular software, you need admin. Sorry, it is not admin. Admin@imitctc with user ID and password. So how they control this software layer mechanism? What is the mechanism for? How they control this software layer mechanism? What is the mechanism for controlling this? Every system will be having a login and password on their particular login. that will be under the administrative control of admin or any other principal or any some super admin user. Admin at the rate imitctc.onmicrosoft.com. And you will be assigned with every license. Say, suppose you want to use Word, you want to use PowerPoint, you want to use Excel, but you don't want to use one. So only 3 licenses will be provided. So accordingly here, what it is happening is, with too many applications which are non-used applications, that means you are not using it, if you put it in the software, then actually it will be creating problem. So to prevent that, as many software you require, suppose today you are heading the computer science, you need Word and PowerPoint. Tomorrow if you go to the administrative section like accounts and you are heading accounts, you need Excel. So then Excel will be given to you and PowerPoint will be used. So at the software layer, whatever software is required, that will be given to you and that will be up to date. So software layer is focusing on keeping software up to date with upgrade patches in order to mitigate risk due to software vulnerabilities. And for this reason, the software needs to be updated to mitigate risk generated due to loopholes attack. With every better option, upgrade of the software, that has to be incorporated. And the basic idea in IT sector, IT and ITES sector is that whatever software is not required by you, that will never be given to you. That will never be installed in your system. Now the question arises, who will decide that what software is required by you? It is the manager of the person, the reporting officer of the person who knows well that what software has to be given to Professor Jaising, or what software has to be given to Professor Rajiv Chatterjee, or what software has to be given to a student like a scholar like Raghunath. Every knowledge he has got, and based on this, it will be implemented. Implementing software layer security. Applying current upgrades and patches to the system on regular basis. HTTP and HTTPS protocols should be upgraded with third-party certification. Client systems should be properly upgraded with current update patches at regular interval. The web applications that are hosted in the application server should be updated with current application on regular basis, and the professionals should look for the anonymous traffic on various servers deployed in the public network or DMZ. Anonymous traffic is an indication of the compromised resource. So if there are too many orphan patterns which are generated by a particular site or particular application, that means that has been compromised. Now the question is that the cyber security word is a very big buzzword. Okay. Cyber security word is very big buzzword, people think, but the nitty-gritty of implementing cyber security is a very tedious job. छोटा-छोटा चीज पे आपको ध्यान देना पड़ेगा. If you look into the nitty-gritty of the thing, that it is a very difficult to implement. Coming to the importance of the software layer. The software layer is an important, as if it is compromised, the entire application can generate disaster implication. Moreover, software layer also protect user layer. Now, how the software layer protect the user layer? How it is possible? Because again, the user ID and password is being used in the software application. Okay. Have you heard of the federated identity? Do you know what is a federated identity? Do you know what is an identity? आपका यूजर नेम इज एन आइडेंटिटी विथ व्हाट इज फेडरेटेड आइडेंटिटी. कोई बता सकता है व्हाट इज फेडरेटेड आइडेंटिटी? यू ऑल यूज फेडरेटेड आइडेंटिटी. डू यू हैव फेसबुक अकाउंट? नो. Very intelligent. You don't have Facebook account. Very good. Do you have Zomato account? How you have opened your account? From the Google connection? Correct. So your Google verify on behalf of this. Now let me give you the minus point of A. If your Google account is compromised, down the line, all the accounts which have been opened on the basis of Google account will be. This is federated identity. Say for example, if I have the password and your mobile device as well as your user ID, password and mobile access, then I can open up your Gmail account in my PC. If I can open up your Gmail account in my PC, then I have access to your G Drive, I have access to your Google Classroom, I have access to your YouTube, I have access to everything. Because it's a federated identity with a single identity, with a single username and password, I am able to use all 35 applications, commonly used applications. So this is called federated identity. So moreover, if the software layer, if by virtue of the application, if your identity is being leaked out or compromised, then it cannot protect the user layer and the user will be compromised on the basis of his identity being compromised. Now, coming to the user layer, I think you are getting bored or something. चलेगा. Coming to this user layer, थोड़ा delay है ना? User layer is concerned with user in the following manner: training and knowledge of security on the network. So कौन समझाएगा यूजर को कि क्या करना चाहिए और क्या नहीं करना? That is the training. Learning about the application and their performance. Should have knowledge about what applications should be installed and what to be discarded. That is why in Microsoft Azure system, what we have, the user is unable to install or delete any app. It has to be the super user that has to perform that on the basis of user. Okay. User, if properly trained and knowledgeable, should also be able to assist network professional on the security of the network. Say, जैसे आपके यहाँ होता है कुछ बच्चे ज़्यादा सीख जाते फिर आपको आपके कॉलेज के डे टू डे एक्टिविटी में थोड़ा हेल्प कर सकते. उसी तरह, if the user, some of the user, they are very knowledgeable user, they can also help the IT department people or the network professionals for this purpose. Implementing user layer security. Train the user on the various application. Avoid peer-to-peer application as they are the ones that compromise the resources at the network. Share knowledge and information about malware by network professionals to the user. Training user on the system performance and response time. and check with user to find change in the system user friendliness and unstable resources. See, cyber security, implementing cyber security is such a Herculean task. Now you can understand. It's not a, it listening is very, I am doing cyber security, but actually cyber security is a very complex set of things. You have to take into account four things: the application, the infrastructure, the data, and the most important thing is the person, your user. Why I am telling about the user is that you can control data, application, and infrastructure, but it is very difficult to control and convince the people, and that too at a government organization. You got the point. So train the user on the various applications. Avoid peer-to-peer applications that they are the one that compromise the resources and network. Share knowledge and information about malware by network professional and user. Training user on the system performance and response time. If the system is not working properly, then the user should tell the IT department people or the administrative people department that I have doubt that my system has been compromised. Check with user to find out the change in the system user friendliness and unstable resources. Importance of user layer security. Most hackers attack user layer as compromising user layer lead to compromised user account. देखिए, it has to be understood by the people that where to hit the target. Okay, this is devastating consequences as the hackers obtain credential to control an account. So that is why when in modern system, in IT sector, even if I have your user ID and password, I cannot log in because they are allowing to log in with their provided laptop only. The MAC binding has been done. So that is the way they are protecting. Coming to this, the next one is the administrative layer.
There's so much delay in there.
It is going to the YouTube and then comes in. The server may be at US. The delay is less with Google Meet because they are locally connected. The administrative layer deals with the training of the administrative user. Administrative layer include all members of the management. आपका principal, आपका dean, आपका COE. It is similar to the user layer, but it is actually dealing with the highest level of security, secure data and information on the network. Administrating users should be trained properly on regular interval, and administrative users should look for user layer, especially those that flout security policies. Implementing administrative layer security, administrative user and administrator should be trained with in-depth knowledge and skill to prevent untoward incidents. Unfortunately, हमारे country में ऊपर वाले पूछते फायरवॉल क्यों लगाना है? You got the point. Why there is a subscription required for firewalls? रोज रोज हम क्यों पैसा दें? I have faced these questions. So administrative users should be trained in-depth knowledge and skill to prevent untoward incidents. Administrators should take part in educating new users. यहाँ तो लोग डिस्कार्ड करते हैं, अरे वो साइबर सिक्योरिटी कुछ नहीं है, बेकार है, पैसा खर्चा करना नहीं. Administrators should be able to effectively communicate users' need and problem to the network security person. They should monitor the issue or resolve within time frame. Importance of administrative layer security. Administrative users or administrators. IT department layer. IT department consists of all the network security professionals, network technician, architects, and the support specialist. Okay. They are the people who make the network operation and maintain the network and all the resources that reside in the network. IT department has accounts and access to devices on any network. Implementing IT department layer security. First of all, while implementing the security at the IT department, the people at the IT department should have a proper knowledge of the enterprise IT infrastructure and resources. What we have? What are the areas where we have weak points? Okay. Because every system, whether you implement it with too much of money, with time, the loopholes gears up and your system becomes more and more vulnerable. Now, as IT industry people, they can keep the best because they are charging their IT infrastructure from their client. वो client से पैसा लेके अपना IT infrastructure को मजबूत बनाते हैं. उनका एक budget होता है. But when we are talking about the IT infrastructure in an academic institute, it's an overhead on the budget. So how much you will spend to keep the system updated is really $1 million question. How much you will spend to keep the system updated is really $1 million question. How to handle that question is a big issue. So the network structure, the security policy should be well defined to the user in the IT department here. IT department is responsible for implementation and maintenance of all network security layers, including physical layer, VLAN layer, ACL layer, software layer, user layer, and the administrative layer. The IT department should also know as much as it can be about the user's request and their needs. So what a user need, they should be able to implement it. Importance of IT department layer security. The network structure, the security policy should be well defined to the user in the IT department. IT department is responsible for implementation and maintenance of all network security layers, including this, and the IT department. Importance of this. The compromise of IT department layer provides system level access to the hackers. With compromise of this layer, devices such as router, firewall, proxies, and VPN devices will become vulnerable, leading to a complete paralysis state and devastating consequences. This will lead to a loss of the face of the company or organization and a major financial loss. ये क्या हो गया इसका? So this is about your this 7-layer architecture. So it is 4:45. If you are interested, I can speak little bit about the network infrastructure security, or else tomorrow we can. My idea is tomorrow I would like to complete all the theoretical part in the first half. I would like to show you something on the second half. Any question you have got? Or online people who are connected through the YouTube, do you have any question? रघुनाथ जी कुछ क्वेश्चन नहीं है, सवाल? क्या आपको समझने में कोई डिफिकल्टी है?
थोड़ा लगा है हो जाएगा प्रैक्टिकल लर्निंग से क्वेश्चन जरूर
Many of the ladies, the young computer scientists, yeah, no question. सर आपको कुछ पूछना है? See, these things I have learned when I have gone to IBM. आप जा सकते हैं, बट थोड़ा रिगरस उनका ट्रेनिंग होता है, मॉर्निंग 8 to evening 8. So I went in 2015 to IBM University Relation Program on mobile and network infrastructure. And from there I have learned many things which I have. But the problem is that वो वहाँ पे सिखाते तो हैं और वो ज़्यादा मटेरियल आपको देते हैं, वो जो दिखाते हैं उसमें से छोटा सा पार्ट देते हैं, बाकी उनका कंपनी पॉलिसी में देते नहीं. But somehow I got the gist there. Then I came to NITER, find out all the things in the net. और धीरे धीरे ये प्रेजेंटेशन. You won't find these things in the common books. Book में नहीं है. When we talk of network security, cyber security, तो देखिएगा बुक में वो कोडिंग टेक्निक्स, हॉफमैन मतलब ये जो का AES कोडिंग टेक्निक RS यही सब रहता है. These are actually the practical implementation. How will you do it?
इतना सिक्योरिटी होने से फ्रॉड क्यों हो रही है?
Sir, this is the ideal system. To implement it, that's correct. The question you have raised is very correct. जो implement करने में हर एक स्टेप में finance का consequence है. अब जो कंपनी है ना, वो उसका some core security policy है, some add-on security policy. जो कोर सिक्योरिटी पॉलिसी उसको तो वो इम्प्लीमेंट कर देते हैं, लेकिन एड ऑन को कभी नहीं करते, बिकॉज कभी नहीं करते, कभी करते. सो दैट लीड्स टू द ओपन अप ऑफ दीज वल्नरेबिलिटीज. नाउ दोज हु आर हैकिंग, दे आर इंटेलिजेंट देन यू एंड मी, बिकॉज दे आर इन दैट बिजनेस फॉर इयर्स टुगेदर. उनको पता है कि क्या नया प्रोडक्ट आ रहा है, कैसे उसको प्रिवेंट करना है. एंड when they hack it, then these organizations, the Microsoft or the Google, they also feel that our system has to be upgraded. And do you know the story? आपको शायद मालूम होगा. Now Pentagon data is being taken care by Microsoft. अभी पेंटागन अपना डेटा खुद मैनेज नहीं कर पा, तो उन्होंने माइक्रोसॉफ्ट को हायर किया. Our TCS, the passport data, which is a government of India data, is being maintained by TCS. So why our government, many of the government, not only India government, but many of the leading economies government, they are now banking on these IT people, because they have understood that this is not our government. This is a specialized activity and this has to be maintained by the people who are in the business. मैंने बोला ना कि जो जूता सिलाई है, आप कितना भी बड़ा PhD हो जाए, कितना पेपर हो जाए, आपको जूता सिलने में आप जूता नहीं सिल सकते. Now this is a question you may ask me, question क्या सर आप जूता सिलाई के एग्जांपल दे देते? Because yes, you don't have that skill set. But you have a skill set to write a paper, to guide a PhD, to do your research work, to teach, but you don't have the skill set for juta silai. So whoever has the skill set of maintaining the network, now the government of the leading nation are actually hiring them and they have a service level agreement SLA for protecting the network. फिर भी सर breach of security हो जाता है और once there is a breach of security there is a loss. इतना पुलिस होते हुए भी चोर चोरी हो जाता है,
चोर आगे जाता है,
चोर आगे जाता है।
पुलिस पीछे रहता है।
सर जो ट्रोजन वो एक सॉफ्टवेयर है या फिर एक हार्डवेयर कंपोनेंट?
नहीं, ट्रोजन हॉर्स एक सॉफ्टवेयर, इट्स अ पैच, सॉफ्टवेयर के कंपोनेंट। एज ए कंप्यूटर साइंटिस्ट आपको ये बात मालूम है, डू यू नो द TSR मोड? आपने सुना TSR मोड?
ये सब प्रोग्रामिंग,
हाँ
ट्रांजिएंट एंड स्टेट,
हाँ हाँ करेक्ट, ट्रांजिट एंड स्टेट,
that I used to do in the channel.
मैंने भी उसका एक प्रोग्राम लिखा, से फॉर एग्जांपल जो स्क्रीन सेवर
हाँ।
वो TSR मोड में चलता है। ट्रोजन हॉर्स, अब TSR क्या है मैं आपको मालूम है तो मैं समझा देता हूँ। The system through its interrupt leave the control of the OS and the microprocessor say 18.2 times a second, ठीक है? So जब वो कंट्रोल छोड़ता है तो TSR क्या करता है, उस कंट्रोल को पकड़ के उसी टाइम में अपना एग्जीक्यूशन करता है। Trojan horse is such a killer software that use that part of it to enter into the system. इसका माइनस पॉइंट क्या है, आपको ये जो विंडोज का जो प्रोग्राम मैनेजर है ना, इसलिए दिखेगा। यू कैन राइट ए ट्रोजन हॉर्स कोड, वो आपको दिखेगा नहीं। Now there is a book, if you really want to study a पुराना लाइब्रेरी में चाहिए, there is a book by Hardware and Software of PC by संजय के बुक, so black and red कलर का एक बुक था। वो बुक मेरे पास आज भी मैं उसको संभाल के रखा हूँ। उसमें int 86x और int DOSX का प्रोग्राम है। These are interrupt routine at the DOS level as well as at the 86x का मतलब at the microprocessor। उस में से उस TSR का यूज करके वो अभी तो चला। So it doesn't, it get attached with some software and it is not visible. So the system, unless and until it performs a deep packet inspection, it is very difficult to find.
So it can be detected by the Windows software.
That is the minus point.
Sir, can we detect it?
Those antivirus who have a deep packet inspection, now it comes to quick hit. There is a software called Securite, which is being developed by the quick hit, but it is not for the common people. It is only for the government installation, like your institute can buy it. Now then these software they are able to grab it. See, there are various kind of, that's why we need to discuss that network infrastructure security. There is two things. One is the perimeter security and another one is the internal security. Perimeter security is being done by implementing at the firewall level. Now that perimeter security looks into the content filtering. They have content filtering mechanism and looks into with the use of a technology called deep packet inspection. So they go deep into that packet to find out any attached code is there or not with the machine. Now this is a business. You have to understand that. That's a part of it. They are in the business. They are earning money by selling the security patches. See, I will tell you, you are doing research in which area?
So deep learning and email segmentation.
Image processing basically. If you come to the research area of the cyber security special. आप कराते हैं क्या किसी cyber security? If you come to the area of the cyber security, now it itself is a bigger area. Now you use the AI tools to find out whether what is the probability that my system will be hacked. अभी एक चीज है AI है ना AI CNN RNN machine learning. There is one more thing called जो AI का बहुत लोग नहीं देखते. That's an explainable AI. आप सुने नाम सुने? एक्सप्लेनेबल AI क्या बोलता है कि ऐसा होने वाला है क्योंकि ये इसका कारण है. बट मुझे मालूम नहीं था, वेरी ऑनेस्ट टू एडमिट, देखिए मैं बेसिकली आई वर्क इन द एरिया ऑफ नेटवर्क सिक्योरिटी एंड अदर, बट वन ऑफ माय स्कॉलर who is now he is very interested in cyber security and he is learning law. He wanted to do a cyber security law course and then he wanted to become a lawyer and an expert in cyber security. He said that Rajita, he used to call me as Rajita, we must use XAI to find out why this is happening. The explainable part. So that is the most important thing you need to know. See, what is happening today is what sir has rightly asking me now. That इतना security तो फिर चोरी क्यों होता है?
इम्प्लीमेंट हो रहा है.
Implement भी हुआ तो कहाँ से loopholes है? Who is looking into that loopholes? See, the foremost thing is implementing cyber security is that whether your system is compliant with ISO 27001. ISO 27000 is the standard. जैसे ISO 14000, ISO 109,000, ISO 50,000 है ना एनआरटी वगैरह के लिए, उसी तरह for cyber security, for data security, it is ISO 27000. Whether our company is incorporating cyber security in line with ISO 27000 or not, and who is going to tell that? That's the question. Who is going to tell? Who is going to say? Whether Professor Jay Singh or Professor Rajiv Chatterjee or आपका क्या नाम है sir? Professor Arun, he says, nobody listen. There are bodies. आप देखेंगे, have you seen private वो एक्सिस बैंक का ATM में, HDFC का बैंक का ATM ऊपर में ऐसे स्टिकर लगा रहता है, verified, verified. What is that verified? VeriSign is an international organization, auditing organization who audits the bank, complying whether the bank is compliant to cyber security standard or not. That is ISO 27000. Now, what question, sir, you have kindly raised in this session is that फिर इतना security है तो क्यों हो रहा है problem? The answer is that to audit every ATM, every branch, you see what is the cost? Who will bear the cost? The customer has to bear the cost from the pocket. The bank to charity करना है, नहीं bank to business करना है. Now, when they are implementing this thing, there is a cost. Now, if by chance one ATM of one organization, if it is left out and if it is connected in the network, that will become the most vulnerable ATM in the entire part of Bhubaneswar range. Because hackers have an idea, they look, वो रेकी करते रहते हैं कौन सा ATM में verified नहीं है. Now consider the SBI. SBI is not even ready to spend so much money on that. Or maybe a छोटा बैंक, small Jana Vikas Bank or any bank, I should not take the name. If that organization is unable to spend that amount of money, then that becomes a vulnerable, and as the bank's ATM are interconnected, that will be exploited. अभी बैंक क्या बोलेगा, आपका स्टेट बैंक में एटीएम है, आपका एक फ्रॉड हो गया है, एक जर्नल स्मॉल सेविंग्स बैंक में फ्रॉड हो गया है, आप बोलेंगे मैं तो उधर गया नहीं, मैं तो कभी भी पैसा निकाला नहीं, लेकिन आपका क्लोन कार्ड का क्लोनिंग करके उसी बैंक से निकाला क्योंकि वो वेरीफाइड नहीं है, उसका उतना सिक्योरिटी नहीं है। आर यू गेटिंग द पॉइंट कि कहां पे लूपहोल है जहां से प्रॉब्लम स्टार्ट्स होगा। Now RBI is putting mandate on every bank कि आप उसको ऑडिट कराइए, ये कराइए, but the question is that nobody is ready to pay the cost. So every bank, even though they are saying that we are following the rules by the RBI, they are only following the mandatory rules, and the additional rules which are not being taken care by them because of the cost, the prohibitive cost. I will not say only cost, because of the prohibitive cost. These fellows are exploiting those ATMs, those branches, those banks to siphon on money. And they are more intelligent than these people because they have entire database of it. अभी आपको पता चल रहा है कि कहां प्रॉब्लम कहां है। Now we are not European nation, we are not American nation. आपको मालूम है अमेरिका में आप जाके 4 सिम कार्ड नहीं ले सकते, they will not allow you. Against their social security number, they may only allow you 2 SIM cards. Or maybe 1 SIM card for the minor at most. यहां पे आप एक ही ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के 9 सिम कार्ड ले सकते एट ए टाइम, और वो नंबर जो ले लिया बाद में उसको फेंक दिया तो दूसरा को फिर ले सकते। रास्ता में तो मिलता है, रास्ता में। That is the problem. So thank you very much for listening. Any question is there, sir?
I will check it.
Whether I have been able to make this session fruitful or not, I don't know. People are not interested. Bored हो गए। क्या हुआ सर?
Some online participants were there.
Ladies, you have any question? No, not interested. हाँ? क्या हो गया बताइए? अच्छा, I can send
Yes, sir. That link.
So
सर ये वीडियो पर तो पठाई देंगे नहीं
सर এটা भी মানে ডাইরেক্ট ये করে जो মানে हमें लाइव पढ़ देंगे।
अच्छा,
Now we are live, sir. So you can send the link and
I am talking to them.
then they also can enjoy. It will slow, but they can enjoy.
হ্যাঁ, বলছি লোকজন এখানে কে কে আছে, তো তোমাকে ইউটিউব লিংক পাঠাচ্ছি, দেখো ইউটিউব লিংক। আরে এখানে স্যারেরা আমার জন্য কে কে আছে, আমার বিভাগ আছে।
अच्छा
তো
पढ़े
লিংক পাঠাচ্ছি।
Yes, sir.
साइबर सिक्योरिटी में देते
हाँ सर सही नहीं चल सर सही लिंक नहीं चलती
सर
আমি লিংকটা পাঠাচ্ছি, कैसे लिंक भेजूं?
सर लिंक जरा भेज दीजिए सर सर सेकंड वाला लिंक
हाँ सर आप क्या
टीचर बता देना।
सर आई सेंड इट I've seen it. Rasa tidak kaku gitu ya. Jadi pas waktu itu kan dekat juga saya. Sama tuh kayak gaya lah. Kalau saya dia ada sama kita juga. Saya marah dengan
हाँ भाई
Second
मैडम
thing,
I see looking I hope let me ask
yes. Eso puede ser. आप क्या सुन कैमरा
हाँ हेलो देखते बच्चो सर आइए दुख का दिन है ना हाँ आइए अरे सबका दुख का दिन होता है ऐसे सुनेगी तो नाराज नहीं होगी सो थैंक
आप लोग बैठे रहने
So, to share with you, for the last 21 years, I am under the control of my honorable wife.
Yes.
So, I am under the control of my honorable wife. So, she has very well managed my home. She is a homemaker, managed my home, and look into both my parents. Unfortunately, my father passed away some 14 years back. She has a very good cordial relation with my mother and my sister. And she has done two great things I must appreciate in my life. She has made my life good, it's true. But one of my cousin sister and one of my own sister, they were during their pregnancy, they were very, very in critical condition. So she has managed, definitely with my help, she has managed those critical patients. For my cousin sister, it was from 6 months before the pregnancy to maybe 3 months after the pregnancy. And from my own sister, it was, say, 2-3 months before the pregnancy and 2 years after the pregnancy. Still, the child was not brought up, they were with us. So I'm thankful to her for all her efforts she has given.
सर बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद
Thank you, sir. I must say thank you for allowing.
जगन्नाथ आपको परिवार को सुखे रखंतु
हाँ, इसमें एक बात कहना चाहता हूँ. My mother-in-law and my mother told after my marriage, you go to Jagannath Dham for your honeymoon. So we spent the first meeting. It was an arranged marriage at Jagannath Dham. And the Purohit, one Purohit I know, from very early days we used to have a relation with their family members. तो वो पुरोहित जी बोले आपको जगन्नाथ जी आशीर्वाद देंगे. जगन्नाथ जी has really given me. I am really grateful to Jagannath ji. I am really grateful to my family members, and I am really grateful to all the teachers and my teachers as well as those teachers with whom I have conducted training, because they have always given me so much. That day before yesterday also, Guru Patnaik sir came. He hugged me. Sir, up I. So I am really happy. Some people have really, they have given me the respect, and I pray to God that I can keep up their respect up till till my last. So thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. So on behalf of IMIT, we wish you all many happy anniversaries to come.
Very happy return anniversary, and I will be able to be very loyal to you. So for those who are unmarried, the gents people, it is very difficult to argue with your wife. Never argue. And for ladies, I will say, please consider your husband as a generous person. Probably, madam, you are married.
Yes.
So you can understand. For newly people who are not yet married or maybe trying to find a partner, always, I will say, always have faith on your partner. That's a very important.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
And there should be always some fight, and you should lose. As a male person, you should always lose.
That's the fact of
There
life.
is a song of Manna Day, "जे मैंने ची को हार मैंने ची, तबो पराजय मोर पराजय." मतलब तुम्हारे हारने से मेरा हार हो जाएगा. मुझे ची को, so never try to win, always try to win. Anyway, these are joking part. Thank you. So sir, इसको divide कर
Yes,
दीजिए.
sir.
My wife's name is Samgita Chatterjee. And
Madam, on behalf of IMIT, namaste to you, Sangeeta madam.
Happy anniversary, ma'am.
What?
Happy anniversary, ma'am.
I will do it. শোনো তোমায় কি বলছে সবাই.
Madam, namaste. Happy anniversary to you. So our students are there. They will be wishing you.
Happy anniversary, ma'am. Happy anniversary,
ঠিক আছে, কেকটা বাই চান্স বুঝলে খুবই আমার পছন্দের আমায় খাও. চলো রাখি.
Bengali people and Odisha people, they are very fond of sweets. We both.
अभी एक और एग्जाम है क्या?
No, now to second shift. Come on, here. So plate आना ना साथ में जाओ. Come on, please here. So please come here. आप लोग.
You take it. अरे लीजिए. क्यों? एक ही व्यू आमले का है ना, वो बैठ
अरे बेटा, बोलो ना.
कुछ नहीं होता. नहीं ऐसा ये भेज, लेकिन आप चिंता मत कीजिए.
चारों पर सर please take it. This one is no sir, this one. This is fine.
Sir, experiment करो.
हाँ. आप तो नहीं लिए ना.
आप आपको दे दो. हाँ ठीक है. हाँ.